The Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights and Economic Justice has filed suit against Bristol County Sheriff Thomas Hodgson and members of his jail staff, arguing that they violated the civil and constitutional rights of a Salvadoran man by holding him on a civil immigration detainer. In the suit, filed Tuesday in U.S. District Court in Massachusetts, the rights organization argues that Hodgson's staff knowingly and willfully ignored a ruling from the state's highest court that says Massachusetts law enforcement officers don't have the authority to comply with detainer requests issued by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Doing so, the state's highest court said, would be akin to an illegal arrest. Moises Rivas, a 38-year-old man from El Salvador who lives in New Bedford, was held for 18 days in the Ash Street Jail and regional lockup on an ICE detainer after his family tried posting his bail, according to the suit. When defendants unlawfully detained plaintiff, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court had already held that Massachusetts law did not authorize Massachusetts law enforcement to detain an individual solely on the basis of an ICE detainer, the suit says. Get fast forward in your inbox. Forget yesterday's news. Get what you need today in this early morning email. Thank you for signing up. Sign up for more newsletters. Here in a statement, Hodgson called the allegations completely false, unethical and a clear attempt by an illegal immigration advocacy group to make a political statement. Mr. Rivas was never held on an ICE detainer, Hodgson said. At all times, Rivas was held solely on the bail issued by the district court and could only be released by either a judge or clerk magistrate. Oren Nimni, a civil rights fellow at the Lawyers Committee, said that beyond seeking damages for Rivas's torment, the suit is a broader statement against abuse of power at a time when anti-immigrant rhetoric is rampant and immigrant families are being separated at the southern border. The organization argued in the suit that the refusal to release Rivas and Hodgson's public statements, such as his offer to President Trump to send Bristol inmates to build a wall along the Mexican border, show animus towards immigrant communities. State law is clear. There will be accountability for abuses of power, Nimni said. Officials do not have the authority to detain people solely on the basis of civil immigration detainers. State officials must obey law. Rivas was arrested in 2016 on minor nonviolent offenses after a domestic dispute and his bail was set at $1,500, but at the time his family couldn't afford to pay it, according to Nimni in the suit, which was also filed by Latham & Watkins LLP. A year later, his bail was reduced to $1,000, according to the suit. When that happened, the sheriff's office notified Immigration and Customs Enforcement that Rivas was likely to post bail. ICE responded by issuing a detainer request, saying there was probable cause to deport him, the suit says. When a relative went to post Rivas's bail on Friday, the clerk on duty told the family member that even if bail were posted, Mr. Rivas would not be released because the jail would continue to hold him until immigration authorities could process him. 3 days later on Monday, according to the suit. The next day, Rivas's relative returned with public defender Ann Grant and an interpreter and again tried unsuccessfully to bail Rivas out of jail. So Grant asked to speak with the clerk magistrate on duty, explaining that under the July Supreme Judicial Court ruling, Rivas must be released after posting bail if the only reason he remained in custody was the ICE detainer. The request was refused. The suit says the scene was repeated again that Sunday. On August 25, Grant and the Immigration Impact Unit of the Committee for Public Counsel Services filed a habeas corpus motion, arguing that Rivas was being unlawfully detained on an immigration hold, in direct violation of the SJC ruling. The federal lawsuit says, while that case was pending, the sheriff's office finally agreed that they did not have the authority to hold him and released him. Nimni said in an interview. So our case is now saying, you held someone illegally for a number of days. He suffered by being in jail, and he suffered by not knowing if he would be released ever. The suit argues that Rivas's detention from August 18 to September 5 was an unlawful arrest that violated his due process rights and intentionally inflicted emotional distress. Hodgson, in his statement, pushed back against that description of events, saying 3 clerk magistrates had gone to the jail, looked at Rivas's file, and refused to bail him. A fourth clerk magistrate agreed to his release on bail, Hodgson said, and he was immediately released. The suit comes as the practice of detaining immigrants facing deportation in county jails is a growing source of contention as some state and local officials push for limiting cooperation with ICE. John Mohan, a spokesman for ICE, declined to comment on the lawsuit but said in a statement that the agency strongly believes local partnerships provide critical public safety support to local communities. Maria Kramer of the Globe staff contributed to this report. Akilah Johnson can be reached at akilah.johnson@globe.com.